We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. It is Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. We're over at redvoicemedia.com, and it's the little things. And this is kind of like not just a little thing. It's a big thing, too. There's also some microcosms as relation to society when we're talking about McCarthy being ousted as Speaker of the House. Now, we got to take our wins, right? Like I've been talking about recently how there are some people in my audience, and I get it, that have fatigue from all of the negative information that we have to unfortunately cover on this show and others like it. I get that. In fact, again, what do you think we're going to cover here for the majority? We're going to cover some things that are maybe a little uncomfortable. That's why we talk about the human brain interfaces so much and the brain chips so much and the cities falling apart so much and the plans. It's funny. When we talk about destroyed by design, because that's what's actually happening, okay? They want to deconstruct so they can reconstruct. Today, when I was just bringing up my stuff, again, we swapped out Beefy and Baby. My computer that was giving me all sorts of problems. Baby, she's running smooth, making me sleep well at night. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's some dark circles here, but I'm getting a decent amount of sleep, everybody. I'm not going to lie. So I brought that up, and I was just kind of like, you've got to pause this. And I remember the book that I constantly go to and saw this thing. And we'll type it in. Samuel Zane Batten, okay, New World Order. So, 1919. Now, when I made this, when I made the film, man, that white thing is killing me. Shouldn't be. Oh, it's because it's a hole. That's why. That's why it's really going to kill me. We're doing it live. So, 1919, now over 100 years old. When I made the film, it was about 90 years old. But this thing to me was, on the eve of the Civil War, Samuel Zane Batten graduated from Bucknell University in Pennsylvania. And this is a Baptist preacher, man. Okay? But he lays out this new world order plan almost exact. And part of it is social control over all people. I'm tempted, hadn't planned it, but at the same time, when we get to this book, maybe it is a good idea, because we showed you, here's G. Edward Griffin, here's the New World Order. I think that we're going to just play this part just to show you how long this idea has been around. And when we talk about destabilization, you don't think that our involvement in Ukraine could lead to global destabilization via Russia? I'm just spitballing here. And I didn't want McCarthy in 9 months ago. I said, keep voting him. Keep voting against them. I don't care. All this establishment bullshit about, oh, you're narcissistic or you're grandstanding or you're trying to raise money. No, we need people that are willing to do what Matt Gaetz just did. Told you he was growing on me. Okay, we're taking W's. We've got to take W's because these people, when I say these people, I mean generational, nepotistic bloodlines in their cohorts that have long-standing been at the top of the social pyramid, the economic pyramid, the global pyramid, via nation states and corporations, okay, for a very long time. Used to be kingdoms, etc. Cindy Sheehan would refer to them as the robber baron class. Very few are able to rise up to that level, especially those that weren't generationally in power. But like the Rockefeller is that last dynasty. I got to reiterate that. And they really embraced this vision here, okay?
Samuel Zane Batten's work, The New World Order, which was published in 1919. Under the cloak of Christianity, this order speaks of a new world rising and advocates social control over all people and all resources. It promotes a world federation with a world parliament, an international court, and a global police force. Some of its goals are as follows. Community. The danger and loss in crime and degeneracy. The determination to make community life safe, sanitary, wholesome, and moral. Industrial. The disappearance of class distinctions and the solidarity of all interests in the economic process. National. The conception of the nation's welfare as the supreme concern, with the policy that everything shall contribute to this end, and every person must do some useful work. International. The creation of an international mind, with a world consciousness and a world patriotism. The destruction of every arbitrary power that can separately and of its single choice disturb the peace of the world.
Well, government is good, right? It put an end to war. Well,
and there's my man, Gio Griffin. So, the reason I led with that is because the reality is that they're pushing that via an unreality, via a post-truth world, something we talk about all the time here, okay? Via people being concerned about some psyop today at 2:20 Eastern. By the way, guys, I'm probably, I don't want to draw you away from Red Voice Media because we'll be live streaming here too. But I'm going to probably go live around 1 p.m., just kind of on the fly, and do an AMA with everybody so we can all get through this emergency broadcasting system grift together. We can all get through the grift together. And next week when the grift is on again, because there's a backup date to the grift, and really it's a forever grift, because when people don't like explode, I can't believe some people actually, I mean, when I hear that people are going to be taken over like zombies after this or during this, it's just...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
And that is correct. Okay? And unfortunately, it's worse than dumber. You're suckered into this Johnny nonsense world, a world that's not real. And right there, I cut away a little bit. The Tuckins is talking real. When he's talking Biden and Trump, too, isn't happening. And I don't believe that's happening either. And I've talked about, Biden somehow just being installed again. But it does look like he's fading so fast they might have to get rid of him first. Newsom's the front runner. The Tuckins is talking about how scary Newsom is. But he's got this 4-minute clip. Probably going to wait until the second segment to play that. Gaetz. First of all, I was sitting there watching it live at this very seat. It was right over to the left of me. As they were first wrapping it up and then going to take the vote. Okay? So I saw only a couple of people really, in my opinion, grandstanding and playing politics and attacking Gaetz, telling everybody how great McCarthy is and how he's bringing people together. He's bringing people together, everybody. Boy, oh boy. He's bringing people together. He's bringing some normalcy back to the Republican Party. Normalcy? If normalcy is starting World War III, count me out. See you later. No bueno, senor or senorita. So, they get to the vote, and you hear a yay and nay. They want just a yay and nay vote at the very beginning. So, the guy who's subbing in for McCarthy, overseeing the hearing, he does the yays and the nays. And if they say no, then McCarthy stays. And the no's scream it out. No. No. No, 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 no. We love war. We love establishment war. No, no, no. So then you got him up there going, the nays have it. And I'm watching it in real time. And actually, again, a little bit of disappointment hits my belly. Now, I know they're going to take a roll call, but there was a projection, an illusion that they had more people because they were louder. Now, think about how that relates to everything going on in the world right now. The illusion is that Joe Biden is the 81 million vote man. The illusion, okay, is that the vast majority of people out there are somehow okay with child mutilation. It's an illusion, okay? But they're louder, and they're allowed to be louder. And they realized they would not be louder, okay? And when I say they, I mean those that projecting it and then those parroting it, right? Their little bot armies on top of it. So there's an illusion that somehow half the country even wants some of these things. No, 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 no. It's all an illusion. And what happens? So they have the roll call, and the illusion is shattered. You know, it wasn't, not a close vote. It was absolutely a close vote. But who got it? Gaetz. And I sat there listening to it as they did it, and I'm like, man, okay. Took a little while. I was still kind of in shock that it actually happened. And boy, am I glad it happened. And look, I'm not saying Gaetz is a perfect guy. Politically, when he's been wrong, I've gone after him. I didn't like his stance on going after Google because people were walking out because they didn't want to be part of writing code for drone warfare and killing people. I think he got that one totally wrong. And then when the sex scandal stuff came out and the drug use and blah, 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 I said it could very well be true. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what this clearing was of those allegations. Now there's the ethics committee, etc. I haven't kept up on it. I'm going to tell you right now. If, in fact, he engaged in any kind of activity with an underage girl, he needs to be held accountable. Way more accountable than even an Anthony Weiner. It's not a good person. Okay? If that's not the case, and basically this guy's got a past with cocaine and prostitutes on any level, I'll be honest with you. I don't really care. Is it the best thing ever? No. Does it illustrate how the system works? Yes. Does it show you who the vast majority of these people are? Yes. Can people have redemption? Yes. I mean, if you're going to get mad at Matt Gaetz about that, how do you not get mad about Trump and what he does? I get it. Trump's not a coke monkey. Trump doesn't drink. Sure likes the Adderall. Sure likes the speed. Just because prescription drugs are out there. And by the way, I'm an advocate of none of it. But at the same time, I'm an advocate that you get to make that choice. Okay? So, Gaetz doing this is huge. It's huge. Huge. It's big. It's good. So we're taking a win. Is it the best day ever? Maybe not. But is it pretty good? pretty good. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We've not only got the Tuckins clips, I've got a couple Gaetz clips. We'll probably do those before the Tuckins. But then again, who knows? Maybe Tuckins first. Who knows? I'm in a mood today, guys. It's a good day. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, and we'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. Act swiftly, 833-287-2465.
We are back. Yeah. I'm in a mood. Again, you take the little wins. And I know there's going to be so many people out there. You know, we had this black pill talk yesterday that say, hey, it's all a dog and pony show. None of this really matters. I'll say this. It at least shows people that the dog and pony show is being shattered. It shows you that, you know, you look at a time period, war on terror, where people just blindly, over the top, just support, take them out. We got to get them, the weapons of mass destruction. Al-Qaeda's everywhere. And we're just like, okay. Now, on the way to the Iraq war, there was a little bit of resistance. There was even marches and things. And we've lost a lot of that because a lot of that was honestly the left, guys. Remember that? Remember when the left was like, hey, this war thing, no bueno. Now, it's actually the right, in most cases, that's against this. But there's a lot of still anti-war left, the Jimmy Dore types out there, that are just being silenced. We talked about that illusion, right? Because they're the ones being censored by the algorithm, and the establishment viewpoint is being promoted out there. But Gaetz doing this is a good step, man. Think about it. McCarthy promised us so much, and I told you McCarthy was garbage from the beginning, but promised us at least the January 6th tapes. And I want to talk about that as well. Because somebody, again, is in the comments. We don't promote hoaxes here, period. That's what we don't do, all right? And that's why I did that whole show yesterday, and we're going to go live today at 20 minutes before the big day. I'll tell you what I'm not doing. Not only am I not shutting off my phone, turning on all my electronics, I might go out and buy or hook up more electronics just to be on for that moment. I jest, but come on. It's ridiculous, okay? So there's, again, these January 6 videos that go into really, in my opinion, total Johnny nonsense that they used crisis actors with the Ashley Babbitt thing. I've said it before. I've broke it down. I've watched the highest quality of the videos that were there at the time. That woman was shot dead. There is no act. She stiffened up after a bullet went into her body. Okay? I keep seeing like people posting this clip of a woman going, they're all actors. What would she know about it? We know the place was crawling with feds. Period. Let's get that out of the way. And then this is a reason why McCarthy really needs to release everything. For instance, on I'll give you a great example where this is going to parallel. There were some people out there that were talking about George Floyd not even dying. I was never one of them. Okay. I've given my opinion numerous times on that incident. I think there was a lot more to Derek Chauvin and his relationship in the past. I don't necessarily think it was racially motivated. And I think that the force on his neck was used because Chauvin worked with him and he was a bouncer at one of the clubs that he oversaw security at. What they did to him, you know, and especially in the ambulance, whew, and how long the ambulance took to get there, whew. No, that needs to be discussed. But there were people out there talking about how Floyd, because he had done porn or this and that, was an actor too, and he was actually alive. Go watch the footage inside the ambulance trying to revive him with the breathing machine. Oh, that's a dead man. It's hard to watch. I'm not gonna. You know what? I don't even want to encourage people to watch that kind of thing, because that's the kind of thing that sticks with you. Like when you realize how real that is. When you realize how real that is and how fragile life is, whether you like that guy or not, or whatever situation, whether you're okay with what was going on with Babbitt or not, it's a very human situation. So there's this new video, all these angles. Everybody's an actor and everybody's in on it. And there's like some kind of blood pump machine. It's all fake Hollywood bullshit. It's right along the lines of what's going to go on today, of the mis and disinformation. We cover the real stuff. Okay? And the real stuff is that we're not only... People want to talk about fifth generation warfare and psychological operations, which we do. I'll tell you what, as dark as all that is, I'll take that 100 times over and be able to fight the war with my mind and my mouth than being overseas in some corrupt European nation on Russian's border that used to be part of Russia. A hot conflict where, forget about psychological warfare, next generation drone warfare and space warfare are actually being waged. Wow, that's a reality. And Gaetz doing that, okay, big deal. And again, now we should get the January 6th stuff, right? Because McCarthy promises us. And that's why, again, the footage is so important because, I mean, a lot of the footage is out there. You can watch Babbitt being wheeled to the... It's hard to watch. It's hard because that's a dead person that didn't deserve to be shot. And the person that shot her gets to go on TV and act like the victim. And it makes me want to puke. Especially for all the veterans out there, okay, that would dare say that was okay. Or even people in law enforcement. And you're going to find them all out there. But my God, that is not how you handle that situation. This just blows my mind every time. So I'd like all the footage. Because once all the footage gets out there, it's harder for these type of hoaxes to go on. Because then everybody has access to the high definition stuff. And somebody somewhere out there will retort this stuff and show how ridiculous all that is. Now, again, were there plants and agents and FBI informants? Absolutely. Absolutely. Did Ashley Babbitt get shot and killed? Yes. Yes. That's a huge yes. Okay? Is that somebody you watch die on camera, which is not my favorite? Yes. Okay. All right. So, I think the first video we're going to play quick, we'll do a Gaetz Tucker sandwich. That's what we'll do. By the way, thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Second hour, RVMRumble.com. Haven't even plugged that. Okay. RVMRumble.com. And by the way, last week, what we did... with the second hour, because Wednesdays we do pre-records, was we played an old series, about 5 years old, of myself talking about MK Ultra and going and doing a watch along with this old school journalistic documentary on what was really going on. Now, fortunately enough, I was able to just to cut, the stuff, a little stuff here and there. And this week, you're going to see the wrap up of that. And I thought that was funny because when you put it all together, it's a little over 2 hours. We run like a 2-hour show every day here. Now, granted, that's a very different animal. And that's kind of like one of those things where I was breaking them up into segments, had more time to prepare. And I think they're great. And I think they absolutely hold up in like the podcast format. So if you liked last week's second hour with MK Ultra, you're going to love it this week because there's even more. There's actually remote. Yeah, and see, here's the thing. Today when we're live and people don't remotely get triggered and become like a... See, that's the other thing. So many things are going to spawn from this. Oh no, it happened. They triggered 100 ninja Illuminati assassins that don't even know. The new Manchurian candidates. And the next big death or murder or whatever will be attributed to that. Who knows where they run with this? But anyway, actual remote mind control via electrodes in bulls, for instance, way back in the day they were doing that. And yeah, can nanotechnology, non-invasive, absolutely. Is that technology out there? We've covered it. Is something happening with that today? No. Are people going to get sick and blow up today because they left their phone on? No. It's a big N mother truckin' O. My God. All right. Let's do it. Gaetz here tells it like it is. Now, when I was talking about how I was watching it, one of the last attacks that was out there, someone got his phone out. They had the magic device out, and they had Gaetz. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting emails asking for money from Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is, making money on going after Kevin. This is all about making money. This is Gaetz' response, and I love Gaetz' response here because it's the real deal one.
And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Boom. Boom. I love that. Come on, man. Come on. I don't think that guy's faking it. Is he perfect? F no. Is he human? You better believe it. I mean, does he look like a slimy politician? Yeah. Sorry, Matt. Yeah, I'm glad, you wore a hooded sweatshirt over at Timcast. I am. I'm happy about that. And hell of a talk there. Hell of a talk. But then again, people would probably say the same thing. I clean up pretty okay. All of a sudden, we shave this off, throw a little makeup, a dick-a-dick-a-doo on. I'm wearing a suit. Like, in fact, if you take a look at that, on the other program, I wear a blue blazer, much like that. Now, collarless, no tie, but you can see where it progresses. I'm certainly not a Fetterman when it comes to the other program. And look, I get it. Different strokes for different folks. Personally, I like the more casual look. I understand why some people gravitate towards the suit and tie because of the way they've been trained, etc. But come on, man. Come on. All right. We're about to take another break. When we come back, we're going to Tuckins. And the Tuckins is telling you it's not going to be Biden-Trump 2024. Certainly the powers that shouldn't be don't want that. And that also should ring alarm bells and let people know that there is some legitimacy to Trump opposing the agenda. Because he will turn the power back on, bare minimum. Whether or not he militarizes the border, like he says, almost like, who knows? It's like a moot point. Like, what's going on right now? I know it's, some people are pretty oblivious to it, but it's the real deal. Like, what you saw in Europe is now happening here. on purpose through the same NGOs to what? Destabilize, to restabilize. Back after this word from our sponsor.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
thanks, America! All right, we are back, folks. We're going to do this Tuckins bit because here he, I think we actually played, maybe it was yesterday. Always hard for me to remember because it's already close. It's midweek, but tomorrow, Thursday, we'll have the show, and then not till Monday. Everything rolls forward. Boom, 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 boom. But here he's talking about the 2024 election, and he's come out and said it doesn't look like it's really going to be Trump 2024 and Biden 2024 too. And the other thing he says that I think is pretty profound in this is that things are going to happen within the next year that nobody could possibly foresee. And we'll see about that because there's a wide range of predictions. I'll tell you what's not going to happen between now and then. People are not going to be blowing up from an emergency broadcasting system thing on your phone. Leave your phones on October 2023, everybody. That's our mantra. All right, Tucker telling it like it is.
So they've done everything they can by legal means, which are in fact extra legal means, if we're being totally honest, completely third world stuff, to take the opponent out of the race, and they're still losing. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. This is not going to be a race between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I would bet my beloved fishing camp in Maine that is not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So what will happen? Well, I don't know. One of like 400 distinct other possibilities? I mean, I just can't even, pick one. By the way, if it's Gavin Newsom, we all should be very, very concerned. That guy's scary, and I mean it.
You better mean it. He's right. He is extremely scary.
Mean it, scary. Yeah, but that's a whole separate conversation. But the point is, this will be forced. These issues will be forced soon, like in a year. And the road from here to November of 2024 is going to be filled with developments nobody in this room could foresee. I can promise you that. So it's about to get very serious, for sure. It's only leadership of the world at stake, which is also, by the way, we now know, the most lucrative possible political franchise in human history. So everything's at stake. What wouldn't they do? What haven't they done? What might they do next? Let your imagination run wild. So the question, the only one that you can answer is, how will you prepare yourself for that?
And again, one of the reasons we play this clip, how are you going to prepare yourself for whatever they throw at us next? That's a great question. It's a relevant one. I guess I can't reiterate it more than Tucker, but can you imagine they put that American Psycho in? Slick talking. You want to talk about narcissism. You want to talk about socio and psychopathy. He walks, talks, and acts the part, everybody. Newsom is scary. Scary. And look, maybe he's not as scary as somebody else because he's outwardly a wolf, but I think Tuck's right that there are going to be developments that none of us could possibly foresee. All right, let's go back to my mic.
And because that really is the only question. And my answers to that in my own life, I'll just tell you what I think. One, be a little bit more serious. Take this seriously. Much as you want to retreat and pretend everything is fine, sit down. It's not fun, okay? Two, maybe if you look across at the people you despise, the small group of people running this country, and it is small, it does not represent most people in America, it doesn't represent anything close to a majority at all. Again, just to restate, Donald Trump, who is hated as a blood enemy by over 40% of the population, and who's been attacked in ways that no political figure's ever been attacked in the West, is beating the incumbent president, okay? I'm not sure that's entirely an endorsement of Trump. To some extent it is, and his empathy, that's real. But it's also a sign of revulsion, deep dissatisfaction with what we're doing. So most people are not on board with this. But the people who are responsible for it are the most dishonest, the most ruthless, the most anti-human group I've ever dealt with.
You understand why I'm playing this? He's anti-human group. Outwardly anti-human. That's real. It's in their own writings. In fact, this is a story we're probably not going to get to really develop on because we're going to be cutting the first hour a little short over here, rvmrumble.com to watch that second hour, because it runs about 10 minutes long. So at I believe 45 after, we're going to run the final commercial. RVMRumble.com is where you can find that second MK Ultra hour. All right, but again, that's another example how anti-human that they would do those things to human beings, people that run things. It's not pro-human, it's anti-human. So somebody brought up Sam Bankman-Fried. I think it was Memory Hold, shout out, in regards to Larry David taking all that cash. Those were funny commercials, everybody. Those were funny commercials, let's be honest. That this guy, the younger brother, tried to buy a Pacific island, okay, in the event of apocalypse, where he wanted to develop a lab for what? People all want to be, what? Superheroes and immortal. Human genetic enhancement. It's the modern day Tree of Life. Fountain of Youth. It's this quest that people are on to try to cheat death. It's a foolhardy one. Okay? One shot at the title, everybody. One shot. And as that approaches, they want to convince all of us that we're like zeros and ones. We don't really have a soul. And our consciousness is just, it can be replicated by a computer and AI. And that'll be our forever. We can just upload our consciousness. No. So they are anti-human. That's what Tucker, and they are ruthless. Tucker just tucking it up right now.
And I spent 35 years living in Washington. I don't even recognize these people and what they're doing. I really don't. It's so dark. They're doing things that can't even, on an academic level, conceivably help the United States or the population that lives here. Letting in 7 million people from the poorest countries in the world illegally and then immediately putting them all on public benefits? I mean, that right there will destroy the country. And they did that on purpose. So these are really, really dark people, the darkest. So I need to be the opposite of that. And I'm not a super good person. The last thing I would do is claim to be. But this is the moment to try a little harder to be a little bit better. This is not the moment to be drunk all the time.
Correct. Correct. And correct.
This is not the moment to tell lies. As they go lower, go higher. And there are many reasons for this. And one is spiritual. Let's be totally honest. I do think this is a spiritual battle. There's no political explanation for it whatsoever. But one other reason is for the way that you feel about yourself.
And what have I said many times on this broadcast? Lies don't make friends. And lies really are the opposite of love. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying there's not a time where you might not want to put all your information out there, okay? And there's maybe a time to be dishonest here and there, self-preservation. Again, you got to be aware of your surroundings. But sociopaths, psychopaths, liars, They're not happy with themselves. All right? They're destroying themselves from within. That's absolutely real. 100% real deal. Okay? I don't know what else to say about it.
When you're honest, you are proud of yourself. When you're honest, you are strong. When you lie, you become weak. That is true. Tell a lie, you become weak. Why do you lie? Because you're hiding something. Because you believe that the people around you knew what you really thought or said or did, they would think less of you. That diminishes you. Your power ebbs when you lie. Tell the truth.
Boom. Tell the truth. Lies don't make friends. The truth is absolutely power. Ignorance is not bliss. Okay? Information is something that we need so we can navigate whatever situation is thrown at us. Period. Period. Okay? I want to move on to Matt Gaetz after the fact, after he was successfully able to get McCarthy out of there. McCarthy, by the way, talking about leaving, right? And, the establishment boho politicians like, and when I say boho, I mean Bohemian Grove, like Newt Gingrich, want to expel Matt Gaetz for being anti-Republican, says his behavior's childish. And look, give me a Matt Gaetz that doesn't sit there and like ram values down your throat that they're not really a part of. Newt Gingrich, what a hypocrite. Like, look into his backstory, his personal life as a Christian conservative. Come on now. I mean, if you're going to act slimy, I guess play the part. Okay, let's go to Gaetz.
Paralyzed the House of Representatives today. To whose benefit? People have called you a narcissist. People say that is to your benefit alone. Is it to the benefit of you and to Donald Trump?
It's the benefit of this country that we have a better Speaker of the House than Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy couldn't keep his word. He made an agreement in January regarding the way Washington would work, and he violated that agreement. We are $33 trillion in debt. We are facing $2.2 trillion annual deficits. We face a de-dollarization globally that will crush Americans, working class Americans. Kevin McCarthy is a feature of the swamp. He has risen to power by collecting special interest money and redistributing that money in exchange for favors. We are breaking the fever now, and we should elect a speaker who's better.
So if not Kevin McCarthy, then who? You
said last night that Steve Scalise was a name that you floated to potentially be speaker. Where do things stand right now? If not McCarthy, then who?
I'd like to see Thomas Massie. Would there be a better Speaker of the House than Thomas Massie? Probably not. Probably not. That's who I'd love to see up there. Boy, the establishment wouldn't like that. If we got a Tom Massie up there, ooh, baby. Ooh, somebody who, when you go up to him in a corrupt backdoor deal to try to keep a war going, he'll stand up there and tell about how they tried to get him to get into a corrupt backdoor deal. Thomas Massie is what I like.
Well, the stages of grief, I think, are in progress right now with some of my colleagues. I think there was a stage of denial, and I've certainly experienced a good amount of their anger, and now we appear to be headed toward bargaining. I think the world of Steve Scalise. I think he'd make a phenomenal speaker.
We've got less than 45.
I'm afraid of $33 trillion in debt crushing the working people in my district. I'm afraid of the dollar losing its status as the global reserve currency. If they want to expel me, let me know when they have the vote.
Has anyone told less than 45 days left before we've got less than 45 days left before you have to pass a budget, which is something that you've been wanting to do. Doesn't this just completely paralyze the House? I mean, we could see 15 more rounds.
I don't think we will. I think Kevin McCarthy should take a hint. After 15 ballots to become Speaker, after 8 months of a failed speakership, and after removal in this historic manner, I think we should move on and find somebody else. What's paralyzed the House of Representatives has been the failure of Speaker McCarthy. What paralyzed the House of Representatives was not taking up appropriations bills. We left for a 6-week vacation while the appropriations process hung in the balance. And because I forced these people to take a few votes, you think I'm paralyzing the House of Representatives? I think the House of Representatives is been paralyzed for the last several decades as we've refused to pass a budget and as we've governed by continuing resolution and omnibus bill. So I think that this represents the ripping off of the Band-Aid, and that's what we need to do to get back on track.
Boom! I like it. Like I said, best day ever, maybe not. Good day, good day. Smiley day, Jason Bermas. All right, we got to go to a break. We're going to come back for about 5 minutes, and then the second hour is over at rvmrumble.com. rvmrumble.com.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh.
Paralyzed the House of Representatives today.
How do you pass anything if 200 Republicans? How do you pass anything?
What do you say to your colleagues who argue you don't have another name right now? You don't have someone else who could get 218 votes. What do you tell those colleagues?
Well, I would tell them that for certain Kevin McCarthy can't get 218 votes, so let's try the next person.
How do you pass something with
pro tem, obviously?
There would have to be a real meeting of the minds there.
Congressman Gaetz, how do you pass something if there's 200 Republicans?
Somebody else has another question.
Are you going to ask for a guarantee from whoever is floated as a candidate for the next speaker for them to actually move the appropriations process along in a speed that satisfies you?
Yes.
Congressman, at this
So,
point,
will you be putting yourself forward for the speakership? Absolutely not. I have no desire to be Speaker of the House.
Thank you. Because everybody's like, oh, he's going to be... Matt Gaetz doesn't want to be Speaker, man. And quite frankly, think about it. Like, every time I think about this stuff, I'm like, man, should I get involved? Should I try to be a county clerk or a state senator or something like that? Should I try to get in there nationally? Boy, that's tough. Because once you do that, you think you get attacked as like a media personality or censored. It's another level to get into national politics. And I'm not saying it's admirable to do so, but when I see somebody like a Massey, yeah, he is. I find him very admirable. Trying to take these people on because he's the real deal. All right, let's finish up with Gaetz, and then, like I said, at 50 after, we're going to go to commercial, and then rvmrumble.com. Haven't promoted the premium at all yet. redvoicemedia.com/uncensored to support the broadcast. $1 for the first week, $10 a month, or $100 for the year to support my broadcast here over at RVM. And, we try to give you these bonus interviews every single week. All right, let's do it.
How do you pass, Congressman, with all due respect, how do you pass something if you don't have 200 Republicans behind you?
I know we've already asked about names, but what about Emmer and others?
I think the world of Tom Emmer. He'd make a great speaker.
Congressman, have you spoken with any of these? Have you spoken with Scalise? Have you spoken with Emmer?
I've spoken with him, but I'll probably keep our conversations between us.
Congressman, take the speaker to require.
What was going through your head when the vote gaveled down and it was official McCarthy wasn't Speaker?
We got to move to the next step. We are not at the end of this process, okay? At most, we're approaching halftime. We've got to be able to assemble a governing coalition. We have to build from a place of trust. The reason Kevin McCarthy went down today is because nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy has made multiple contradictory promises, and when they all came due, he lost votes of people who maybe don't even ideologically agree with me on everything. Take, for example, my colleague from South Carolina, Ms. Mace. She has different views than I do on a variety of subjects, but what we had in common, Kevin McCarthy lied to all of us.
Congressman, hold on a second. You're saying that nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy, but you're talking about, including yourself, about 7 Republicans compared to about 200 and about, you know, some odd Republicans who actually do trust him. So can you kind of explain that here?
Well, as it turns out, getting 200 Republicans to trust you isn't enough to stay Speaker.
Compared to...
And we'll end it there. Here's the last word from our sponsor. Remember, second hour, RVMRumble.com.
If you're like me and you want to be prepared for the unexpected,
that's where the wellness company's emergency medical kit comes
over
in.
40% of Americans say that they would avoid a doctor or a hospital unless it was a catastrophic situation.
Medical emergency kits with...
The kit contains 8 potentially life-saving medications for you to keep on hand in the event of natural disasters, supply chain shortages, medical emergencies, or like an apocalyptic situation. These are the actual medications that you would need in the event of certain situations. So they've got emergency antibiotics, antivirals, antiparasitics,